Jayam Swataram Shrividrajagacharya Siddhara Sadasyaman Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavindra ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivas Adi Gaur Bhaktavindra Jai Sri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Girivardhan ki Jai Vrindavan Dham ki Jai Navadvip Dham ki Jai Swami To Bhaktavindra ki Jai Ganga Mai ki Jai Jamuna Mai ki Jai Tulasi Devi ki Jai Bhakti Devi ki Jai Swami To Bhaktavindra ki Jai. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much. Takva Mandalasani Sada Chaba Bhutvadi Nagane Chato Karunaya
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you, all glories to great all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for being here. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So Maharaj, my name is Sahadev Das, and I will be your host for, I guess you are in India, so it's night time, your time.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So,
What is the time at your place? What time at your place?
It's 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm in the US.
Okay.
Yes.
Obeisances at your lotus seat, Maharaj. All glories to Guranga, Goranga, all glories to Prabhupada. Nice to have your darshan once again after many years.
Ganga Prasad Prabhu, Haribo.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
And we also have His Grace Srivastava here. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Maharaj, my obeisances.
Hare Krishna. Jack-samay obeisances. I am at your place. I am actually at your place right now. Your residence of Mayapur, I'm here.
Wow.
In Mayapur.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
We are missing Mayapur and Vrindavan.
Yeah. So lots of people here. It's a big crowd.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
No COVID.
No COVID, no protocol.
Hare Krishna.
No, nothing.
Wow, that's good.
Yes. So, fellow devotees, today we are very blessed and fortunate to have His Holiness Sundar Chaitanya Swami Maharaj here with us. And he is going to bless us with his association and his love and his wisdom. So we kindly request all the devotees, if possible, you turn on your cameras so Maharaj may see your beautiful faces, and also you tap directly into his love, devotion, and blessings. Hare Krishna. So Maharaj, without further ado, I can put the rest on the screen and then you take over.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
This is right?
Yes, this is let me see, it's SRIMAD Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13, verses 36 and 37. So, okay, Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you.
Is my voice audible, right? Is that okay?
Yes, Maharaj, yes, very clear.
Good. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13, 36 and 37. Vimrija sruni panibhyam vistabhyat manamatmanaha ajata satrum pratyoche prabhopadai anusmaran. I will read it once more. Vimrijas runi panibhyam vistabhyat manamatmanaha ajata satrum pratyuche prabhopada anusmaran. First, he slowly pacified his mind by intelligence and weeping away his tears and thinking of the feet of his master Dhritarashtra, he began to reply to Maharaj Yudhishthira. Sanjaya uvacha naham veda vyavasthitam pitrorva kulanandana gandharya va mahabhao musitosmin mahatma mabhi. Sanjaya uvacha naham veda vyavasthitam pitrorya kulanandana Gandharya Vamahabhao Musitasmin Mahatmabhi. Sanjaya said, my dear descendant of the Kuru dynasty, I have no information of the determination of your two uncles and Gandhari. O king, I have been cheated by those great souls. Purport by His Divine Graces Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. I have it very short. Maybe Prabhuji, you can read the purport.
Okay, thank you, Maharaj. So, purport. The great souls cheat others may be astonishing to know. But it is a fact that great souls cheat others for a great cause. It is said that Lord Krishna also advised Yudhishthira to tell a lie before Dronacharya, and it was also for a great cause. The Lord wanted it, and therefore it was a great cause. Satisfaction of the Lord is the criterion of one who is bona fide. And the highest perfection of life is to satisfy the Lord by one's occupational duty. That is the verdict of Gita and Bhagavatam. Dhritarashtra and Vidur, followed by Gandhari, did not disclose their determination to Sanjaya, although he was constantly with Dhritarashtra as his personal assistant. Sanjaya never thought that Dhritarashtra could perform any act without consulting him. But Dhritarashtra's going away from home was so confidential that it could not be disclosed even to Sanjaya. Sanatana Goswami also cheated the keeper of the prison house while going away to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And similarly, Raghunath Das Goswami also cheated his priest and left home for good to satisfy the Lord. To satisfy the Lord, anything is good, for it is in relation with the absolute truth. We also have the same opportunity to cheat the family members and leave home to engage in the service of SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. Such cheating was necessary for a great cause, and there is no loss for any party in such transcendental fraud. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karati Vacharam Pangum Laingaite Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Mande Suguridinataranam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Vatsachari Satarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Would like to thank Kiridari Puja Devi Mataji and all of the other devotees for this opportunity to talk on Srimad Bhagavatam tonight. And this is the Dhritarashtra. The chapter here is Dhritarashtra leaving home, going to the forest. And now Sanjaya is also telling that how he was cheated by this great soul, his master Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, who left. I saying here, I have been cheated by those great souls. So, in fact, what happened, Mahatma Vidura he was a very pious person, and he had been remaining there in Hastinapur to actually rectify the mentality of his brother, eldest brother. And actually to bring happiness to everyone. At one point, it had been telling Dhritarashtra that this eternal time, time is a destroyer, time will come, time will overcome those who are too attached to family life, and those who are too engrossed in materialistic life. So, but Mahatma Vidura, he knew all this, and therefore he told Dhritarashtra, his brother, for this good, please get out, my dear king, please get out from here immediately, do not delay, and just see how fear has overcome you. That's what he told. So anyone who is under this influence of time must actually surrender. Is their life, his own life, he has to surrender. What to speak of other things, right? Such as wealth, family, all these, everything one has to surrender. So this is the teachings of Vidura to his brother for his benefit. So now, just see, now we have been overtaken by invalidity, and now you're also living in the house of other people. And he mentioned you have been blind from birth. You're blind. And now we cannot hear properly. And the memory is also bad. And your intelligence is disturbed. And your liver now has become defective. He said, and then you also coughing. Just see how invalidity has overtaken you. So, and then he said, just see how powerful the hope to live, continue to live. The hope to continue to live is so powerful, very powerful. You know, people hope to live longer. So, of course, Yudhishthira Maharaj also said the same thing. This question was come, what is the most amazing thing in the world? Most amazing is that ahani ahani bhutani gatanti amalayam. People are dying, going to Yamaloka daily, but other people are aspiring to live longer. So, sorry for that. So, other people are aspiring to live longer. This is amazing. Gajanti Malayam. So, even Bhaktivinoda Thakur said there's the most amazing things in this world. What is most amazing? Kulaksekar also, what is the most amazing? Queen Kulaksekar said the most amazing thing is that people are giving up nectar, but they are drinking poison consciously. This is the most amazing. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also mentioned what is the most amazing things in the world is that when my body will drop dead, when my body will die, will drop dead, and then it will become a sport field for the jackals and the dogs. And the animal will be delighted. They are going to have a big feast on my body. And then he said, what is most amazing is that, because sometimes people may be thinking, okay, I'm going to die, but my family, I'm not going to die. I'm going to protect them. No, he said, that's the most amazing. Whoever belongs to us, they are also going to have the same destination. That's what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in one of his songs. This is the most amazing things. So he also, Maharaj is telling to Dhritarashtra, just see how cool, or the hope to live long, to continue to live long is so strong. And you're just like a dog. You're just like his household dog. And who are waiting for the remnants of Bhima. Why Bhima? Because in fact, it was Bhima who had killed his 100th son alone. He had killed all the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra. So Vidura is mentioning the name of Bhima. Why? To make him realized, to give him a little pain, to realize more. You're just like a dog and waiting to eat the remnants of the food given by Bhima, like a dog staying outside and is throwing the food to the dogs, In fact, it was Bhima who killed his 100th son. And this was also kind of is connected to his previous birth. In fact, Dhritarashtra, in his previous birth, he was a king. As a king, he had a skin disease, kind of skin disease in his previous birth. And then he had asked some of the doctors how to cure that disease. And the doctors have told him that you need to get 100 swan. 100 swan. you need to kill them. And the blood from their head that you can smear upon your body, and your body will be cured. So which he did, has been killing 100 swan. So this is the connection in this lifetime of Dhritarashtra. And now in this lifetime, his 100th son has been killed, right? So, but of course, was killed by Bhima. And this was, Vidura was actually talking for his benefit. So although despite you not willing to die, and your desire to live at a cost of honor and prestige, but your body will certainly dwindle. Your body will be deteriorating. Your body will become old like an old garment. And therefore, leave that place immediately. Go to the north immediately. He certainly told him. Without letting your family know about it. So death is approaching. So before that comes, please leave that place and go to the north. So that's how Vidura, he told Dhritarashtra. But now Sanjaya is saying, is lamenting. And before that, I was Yudhishthira Maharaj also. Yudhishthira Maharaj was full of anxiety. And he asked Sanjaya, where is our uncle who is old and blind? Yudhishthira has lots of affection also for his uncle. Where is my uncle? Where is our uncle? Our uncle means both Vidura and also Dhritarashtra, who is old and blind. And then now Sanjaya is speaking that verse here. So he's saying, first he slowly pacified his mind by intelligence and weeping away his tears and thinking of the feet of his master, Dhritarashtra, he began to reply to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Right? So he's saying, my dear Yudhishthira Maharaj, I have no information of your uncle Gandhari. I have been cheated by those great souls. So, in fact, it is said that they've Narad Muni also came there, but he did not want Yudhishthira Maharaj to go and meet his uncle, because now the Dhritarashtra is going to do this yoga, Ashtanga yoga, to leave his body. And there was no need to do the final rites, because Ashtanga yoga, they burn the body at the end. But Yudhishthira Maharaj, Narad Muni was telling Yudhishthira Maharaj, you don't need to go, because the body in any way is like, we all come together, but time separate everyone. At one point will be separated. Don't worry about him. And now by the instruction of Vidura, he has gone to the north, so he will be doing this tapasya, this Ashtanga yoga system. And it is explained that he did the Ashtanga yoga. Prabhupada explained that this Dhritarashtra, he has achieved liberation. How come such a person can actually achieve liberation? He just said liberation. Prabhupada said Dhritarashtra, he has achieved liberation. And also, due to his mystic power, there was light fire, and then his body was burned to ashes. Plus, Gandhari also jumped into the fire. This is called Sati, Sativrat. And long ago, there used to be Sativrat, Sativrata. So they jumped, the ladies also jumped together with their husband into the fire to burn the body. What's the use of living without a husband? But that was practiced long ago. It's called Sati, Sativrat. And then Srila Prabhupada explained that Dhritarashtra, he has received liberation. He mentioned only liberation. And how come that is achieved liberation? This is because of his association with Vidur, Mahatma Vidura. So Mahatma Vidura was a Mahatma, a great devotee. Vidura also is lamenting. Vidura is also lamenting. I have not been able to make him into a pure devotee. Vidura is also lamenting. I feel sad, morose, that I have not been able to make him a pure devotee. Vidura was acting. Sometimes he would chastise. He had the adhikar. Vidura had the adhikar to chastise also his elder brother. Sometimes he would do his would speak a little bit harsh, but for his benefit. And Dhritarashtra knew also that Vidura speaks for his well-being, for his good. Dhritarashtra also knew that. But Mahatma Vidura is also a great soul. Yes, is Yamaraj. Vidura is Yamaraj. He was cursed to become the son of a Sudra. And because Yamaraj is one of the Mahajans, so Yamaraj also wanted to preach. Yamaraj wanted to preach Krishna consciousness. So he got the opportunity, although he was cursed, he came on earth, he was able to preach Krishna consciousness. Very, very intelligent personality, Vidura. He had also been advising Dhritarashtra. Many times he had been advising Dhritarashtra, you have to give up this son, Duryodhana, you know, because Duryodhana, actually when Duryodhana was born, as a baby, when Duryodhana was born, he was crying like a jackal. His black body, but also Duryodhana was crying like a jackal. So seeing that the crying of Duryodhana, Vidura had told already Dhritarashtra, give up the him. He will be cause of the destruction of the family. You know, because that's already a bad sign, negative sign when a child is born and is crying, screaming like a jackal. That's what Duryodhana did when he was born. So that was already a sign of inauspiciousness in the family. But Dhritarashtra was blind to his eldest son. Whatever his eldest son would say, he would just accept, you know, because he was blind. He was too blindly affectionate towards Duryodhana, his eldest son. In fact, it was because Duryodhana was jealous of us. So he wanted to take over all the to defeat the Pandavas in this dice game. You know, he had asked his father to please, Dhritarashtra, please invite the Pandavas and we want to play dice game, you know, with them. And Dhritarashtra did it. He told Vidura, you go and invite the Pandavas to play dice game, gambling. You know, Vidura went and told Yudhishthira Maharaj, the king, Dhritarashtra, has sent me here to you to ask about your health, and at the same time he's inviting you to come to gambling, to gamble dice. That was instruction of Dhritarashtra. So Yudhishthira Maharaj said, well, I'm Dharmaraj. I don't play game. I don't gamble. It's against my dharma. Gambling is against my dharma. One sage has also told me that gambling is wrong. Gambling is not good. Gambling will become the cause of destruction. Gamble will smash dharma. But if I am challenged, because I'm a Kshatriya, if I'm challenged to come for gamble, I have to do it. So then Yudhishthira Maharaj went for the gambling match. And then they were there at Dhritarashtra's place. They went in the night, all sleep there in the night. Next morning, there was a big festival of game match. Many king and prince came from all over, different corners to watch, to see that gamble match. But Yudhishthira Maharaj, again, he told Dhritarashtra that I am Dharmaraj. I don't like to play. I don't like to gamble. It's again my dharma. But since I have been challenged, so I accept. And Sakuni was there. Sakuni said, Yudhishthira, this is a friendly match. If you want to play, okay. If you don't want, you can also stop. You know, he's telling to Yudhishthira Maharaj, if you want, you can play. If you don't want, it's okay. But it's a friendly match. You know. But Vidura could say, now how Duryodhana is going to become greedy for wealth. And that greed will also become the cause of destruction of the family. That gamble mother, greediness of Duryodhana. But Yudhishthira Maharaj said, if I'm going to play this gamble, there's no one who can match me here. Because Sakuni cannot match me. It's a gambler. Sakuni is a gambler, but he doesn't match me for gamble. Then Duryodhana said, I will stake. I will stake. I will do the stake. You know, Sakuni will play for me, but I will stake my wealth. And Yudhishthira said, I've never heard about that. That one person play, throw the dice, and another person do the stake. But then it was accepted, agreed, and slowly, Yudhishthira Maharaj lost everything. You know, his villages, his horses, his chariots, his animals, his land, and then at last his brothers. And Vidura mentioned, stop this nonsense. Can see how this, he again told Dhritarashtra, your son so greedy. I can see this gamble match, this greediness, this Duryodhana will become the cause of the destruction of this descendant, of this family. This Duryodhana. Again, on and on, again and again, Vidura has been telling to Dhritarashtra. But Dhritarashtra did not pay any heed. And there was no one there was actually defending. There were many great personalities like Dronacharya, Bhishmadev, others, the Kripacharya, they were there. They did not say anything. They were keeping quiet. Vidura said, those who keep quiet, when they know the truth, those who keep quiet will go to hell. Those who keep quiet will go to hell. If they know the truth, they don't speak the truth, they will go to hell. And he quotes, Vidura quotes one example that happened one time with Prahlad Maharaj. His son was supposed to be getting married with a girl. Two sons were supposed to be getting married with a girl, but Prahlad Maharaj's son is the youngest. But the girl was supposed to be getting married with the elder boy. But then Prahlad Maharaj, he asked the sages, what happens if someone knows the truth but doesn't speak? And the sage said, truth, speak the truth, you will go to hell. You know. So then Prahlad Maharaj had to reveal that his son is the youngest. And there were so many great personalities, they were all quiet. They did not say anything. Even Yudhishthira Maharaj, he staked himself and he lost, he became slave. And at last, they asked to stake the Draupadi. This is what the main point here. Draupadi was staked at last. And that also she was lost in a game match. And then they asked, Duryodhana asked his man to go and get Draupadi here. Now she's our slave. She has to do what we tell her. But then Draupadi said she asked a question, challenging. What's the question she asked? How, if Yudhishthira has already lost himself in the gambling match, how is it possible to stake me? If he's already become slave to the Duryodhana, so how can he stake me? He's not allowed. So that was a big debate in the assembly. It became a big debate. Even Bishop said that one, a wife is married to the husband, so whatever the husband goes, the wife have to go. That's what Bishmadev said. But then he said, but dharma is not easy to understand. The principle of dharma is not easy to understand. So I cannot understand that. And Karna was against the Pandavas. He said, a slave, a wife, and a servant should follow the master, wherever the master goes. That is his opinion. But again, it was a big debate. Draupadi said, if Yudhishthira has been, he lost himself in stake in that gambling match, how can he stake me? He's not allowed because he's already a slave. He doesn't have any possession. And then at this point, asked Dusasan to disrobe Draupadi, and that you all know about it, how Draupadi, Krishna actually was in Dwarka at that time. Krishna was in Dwarka, so he just came, leaving Dwarka immediately, a fraction of a second, he was in Hastinapur to help Draupadi, to provide to help Draupadi, providing saris, more and more saris. So they were baffled in the attempt. And just at this time, after that, there was a jackal. Again, outside, one jackal was screaming, crying, jackals, outside the nearby where Dhritarashtra was sitting, just outside the room. This jackal was screaming. And that again was a very, very bad sign, destruction for the family. And then at this point, Dhritarashtra became a little bit afraid what has happened, disrobing Draupadi, and also the jackals. And the atmosphere has changed. There was storm, it was windy, there was rain. The atmosphere has already changed. And then Dhritarashtra at the end, he asked for forgiveness to Draupadi. Please forgive us for what has happened. But now you can ask two boon. You can ask some boon. You can ask me some boon, some benediction, some boon. And Draupadi said, okay, let us give back our land, possession, and my husband. That's how they were freed. And here, Karan started smiling, was laughing. Karna was laughing at the Pandavas. Just see. These Pandavas were defeated, but they required a wife to come and save them. What a dishonor. So, and then Dhritarashtra let them go, and they were going. So the Pandavas, they were going home. And now again, Duryodhana, he was lamenting. He said, "Oh dear father, what did you do? Now we should be the master, and they would be our slave. Why did you liberate them? Why did you let them go? This is not fair. We would become their master, and they would become our slave. Please, dear father, please, my dear father, invite them again for another match, gamble match." And again, Dhritarashtra was influenced by his son, which Vidura has already told to reject, and he will become the cause of the destruction of the family. Vidura is intelligent. He could see, he could foresee what's going to happen. again, Dhritarashtra was carried away by his son's desire. Please, my dear father, please invite them again for another gamble match. And Dhritarashtra, he said, okay. He sent someone to invite them. He sent somebody to invite the Pandavas again. And the Pandavas were going home. They haven't reached home. That's on the way, on the road. A messenger came and said, the king is inviting you again for another gamble match. Yudhishthira was shocked. They haven't reached home yet. Again, Yamaraj said, I'm Dharmaraj, I don't do gamble, but because I'm Kshatriya, if I'm challenged, I have to obey. I have to follow. And then they return back again for another gamble match. You can see here how greedy Duryodhana and how Dhritarashtra, by the influence of his son, eldest son, and there was another gamble match, and again they lost. At this time they had to go, and the condition was, Sakuni said, if we lost, we lost the gamble match, we will go to the forest for 12 years. It means if the Pandavas lose again, they will have to go, which happened. The Pandavas lost again, and that's how they have to go to the forest for the second time of the match. So this is when Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjaya in Bhagavad Gita, Dharmak Chitre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yudsava, Dhritarashtra Uvacha, Dharmak Chitre Kurukshetre. What are the sons of Pandus and my sons are doing? Some commentators have said that they're all, actually, in fact, they're all Kurus, Kurukshetra. But he's saying the Pandavas, as if he's not his son. They are not his son. He's separating them. He's supposed to be taking care of the Pandavas also. He said, what are they doing? He's asking Sanjaya, Dharmak Chitriku, Sam Namaka Pandavascheva, Kima Kurvata Sanjaya. But there, what is the opinion of Sanjaya at the end? The last verse. This is the first verse, but the last verse of the Bhagavad Gita, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partha Danurdara, Tatra Sri Vijaya Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. That is my opinion. Matir Mama. That is my opinion. In fact, many times Sanjaya was trying to describe, it's not easy to describe the universal form to the blind person. Sanjaya was there, his secretary. When Krishna was showing his universal form, Sanjaya, he was able to see drishti, he's got this vision, durdarshan we say. He was able to see what was going on from the room. He was in the room, but he could see what was going on outside there. Arjuna got the vision, he got the blessing of Krishna, the divine eyes to be able to see the universal form. But Sanjaya also got the blessing from Vyasadeva, because he's a disciple of Vyasadeva. Other people, from the other planetary system, they also saw the universal form, but this is by the mercy of Arjuna, because Arjuna saw it and they were also able to see it. But Sanjaya was describing the universal form to Dhritarashtra also. It's not so easy, right? To describe to a blind person. And that was his opinion, wherever there is Krishna and wherever there is his devotee, there will be. Tatra Sri. Sri means wealth. Vijaya, victory. Bhuti, strength. Matir Mama. There will be also what you call morality. So victory will be on the side of the Pandavas, even in the universal form. So this universal form is an indication when Arjuna was seeing that the Kauravas, many members of the Kauravas are being swallowed. Not only swallowed, they're being crushed and burned at the same time. Many members of the Kuru members, they were being crushed under the teeth and also burned at the same time. So this is an indication that Arjuna will come out victorious. It's already an indication. That's why Arjuna, okay, Krishna has told you, now Arjuna, you should fight, stand up and fight. This is, but now here, Sanjay is lamenting. He says, I've been cheated. O king, I have been cheated by those great souls. And Prabhupada is saying, cheating for a good cause is good. Right? We have experience also in our spiritual life. Sometimes we cheat our parents, just at home, go to the temple. And we say we are going to school, but we go to temple, or many times there is, this is for a good cause. So this cheating is for a good cause. Sanjaya, the Rasta have cheated Sanjaya. So many times we see that. Krishna also. Krishna is said to, in Mahabharata, is telling Yudhishthira, Asvatama is dead. But Asvatama was not dead. But then he told Bhima to kill the elephant, Asvatama. So this we can say it is speaking truth. Also at the same time, he's not speaking the truth. But for a good cause. This is for a good cause, right? There are many things that takes place that happen actually for a good cause. Prabhupada is mentioning that cheating for a good cause is always good. For a good cause. And also Krishna in Mahabharata, he's promised not to leave any weapon, but he lifted a weapon to be able to protect. He to protect his devotee. So this is also another point of cheating for a good cause. So here Sanjay is saying, my dear descendant of the Kuru dynasty, I have no information of the determination of your two uncles, Dhritarashtra and Vidura, and Gandhari also. O king, I have been cheated by those great souls. And this is how they actually went to the north. And then they're engaged, because Vidura was actually, in fact, acting for his good well-wisher for Dhritarashtra. And then he did that, what I mentioned earlier in the beginning, Astanga Yoga. And he's able to actually do meditation and burn his body. His body was burned to ashes. And at the same time, Gandhari also entered the fire and also burned the body. And Narad Muni is telling to Yudhishthira, there's no need to worry about, because in this principle, in this manner, there's no need to do the lost rites, because the body is burned. Right, automatically burned by the mystic power of the Dhritarashtra. So that's it. If maybe any question is there, I'd like to maybe.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Thank you so much for the wonderful class. Yes, thank you very much for the wonderful.
I cannot hear.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me, Maharaj?
There was a phone call that came, and
oh, okay.
And then the sound becomes low.
Okay.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So, fellow devotees, whoever has a question, you can ask Maharaj. He's here with us. Hare Krishna. Maharaj, I have a question about Dhritarashtra. You shared a story, who he was in his previous life, that he had a skin disease, And the doctors prescribed that he kills 100 swan and use the blood to cure the disease. So in his next life, he had to suffer the loss of his 100 sons. Now, my question is, well, Dhritarashtra killed 100 swans, so he also has to lose 100 children. But what was the karma of the very souls that took birth as the sons of Dhritarashtra? Did they also had any sort of karmic reaction that they had to suffer such deaths? Probably based on certain things they did in their previous life?
Yeah. If let's put it like this also, is a good question. But for example, we have Vidura. Vidura also, I mean, that's Yamaraj. Vidura was Yamaraj. Vidura also was cursed to become the son of a maid servant. Sorry, Yamaraj was cursed by Manduka Muni, and for misjudging him as a thief, and then Muni cursed Yamaraj. Yamaraj is a Mahajan. There's no question of curse getting the karma, but because that was Krishna's arrangement, he wanted to come and reach Krishna consciousness. So this even the Pandavas, they had to go to the forest and suffer in the forest. So this is not because of karma. You know, this is sometimes it's happened. Like we also find the story of Bharat Maharaj, you know, who fell down. There's two ways actually falling down. One is offenses to the Vaishnava, and the other way is if the Lord desire. When the Lord desire, so that also happened for a good cause, for preaching Krishna consciousness. Like Jain Vijay also, that was the desire of the Lord for them to come down to this world. So great soul, he's saying here great soul, and they're acting and by the will of the Lord. And the Lord is also using them to show that if we act in such and such way, what will happen to us? The Jai Vijay offended the four Kumaras, and then they fell down. But at the same time, it was also the desire of the Lord for them to come down. This is what happened to great soul. That's not that they have karma. I've said already, there's two ways of finding the Vaishnava devotees, one fall down, or if it is also the desire of Lord Krishna who want to come down.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Any other question from any devotees? Hare Krishna, any question?
I have read this, but I don't remember where I got that, this swan thing. I just read it long ago.
Oh, okay.
Many years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you. So, anyone else with any question, comments? Maharaj, if I may ask you a second question. I sometimes get so intrigued about the spiritual world. I just want to have a little bit of window to how the spiritual looks like. And so my question has to do with the actual nature of the loving entity in the spiritual world. We understand that in this material world, there is a difference between the body and the soul. But in the spiritual world, there is no difference between the body and the soul. And if there is no difference between the body and the soul, and the soul is described as 1/10,000th tip of hair, which is very, very, very minute, then how does the living entity, the jiva, the soul, have a form to act and to serve the Lord with in the spiritual world? Now, in effect, I'm trying to find out if the living entity, the jiva, has a body in the spiritual world, but that body is also the same as the soul itself, or the soul is still different from the body, but it's kind of confusing to me, Maharaj.
Yeah, good question. One time there was one devotee's brother. He wanted to Jagannath Puri. He wanted to write a poem for Mahaprabhu, and he wanted Mahaprabhu to read it. But Swarup Damodar did not want that to go to Mahaprabhu, because we may write, but sometimes it can be also Rasabhas. It's not correct. So, but the devotee, that person was insisting, let Mahaprabhu read this. But then Swarup Damodar asked, okay, let me see first. I have to screen it first, what you're writing. So what you wrote is Jagannath is the body, and Mahaprabhu is a soul, giving life to the body. Everyone was very happy about it, except Swarup Damodar. It chastised him. What is this you're writing? Because he's saying here the body and the soul different. He said, no, in the spiritual world, it's one. We are the soul. But now you're saying it is 1/10,000. We are making some calculation here, material calculation, right? Even it is said that the Paramatma is 8 inches. Shastra says the Paramatma is 8 inches. So how does it fit in the ant body? Mosquito body. What Shastra say? 8 inches. But this is beyond understanding. You cannot make material calculation. That's one point. But the other thing is, we don't take birth in the spiritual world. Even Krishna's birth doesn't happen in the spiritual world. Krishna's birth is the spiritual world. There's no birth of Krishna in the spiritual world. So it is appearance. Appear. We say appear and disappear. Yes. So we talk about appearing and disappearing. And yeah. So when one reaches the spiritual world, then he appear there. Because he has his eternal constitutional position. His eternal constitutional position. Some may be Gopa, some may be Gopi, some may be dogs, some may be peacocks, some may be trees, some may be different life. But they're all there to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So there's no birth, they just appear in the spiritual world in our Swarup. Swarup means our eternal. Swarup means our own eternal constitutional body. So it's one. It's not that soul and body. It's one. But the point I wanted to make is we cannot make any material calculation about it. So That's how is it. Okay.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
I'd like to thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for this invitation. I'm glad to be with all of you in Africa. This is Nigeria, right, Prabhu?
Yes, we have devotees from Nigeria, Ghana, and we also have a devotee from Uruguay and US. Yeah. Sometimes
Good.
we have devotees from Ivory Coast, Togo.
Yeah.
So it's like West Africa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Anyone else with any question before Maharaj goes?
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shivara. Hare Krishna, thank you. Please go ahead.
I'm just entering, so that's why.
Welcome. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Mara, thank you very much for the class. The gambling match. The gambling match has always been a very difficult subject to understand. Hearing again and again Yudhishthira Maharaj saying that it's against his dharma, but he has to do it anyway because it's his duty as a Kshatriya to respond to challenge. Do we take this as a standard, or do we just take it that, okay, it is for the purpose of this lila? Because if we take it as a standard, then so many questions come up. I mean, that is, do we have to justify the fact when people commit sin on the justification of duty? So it begs so many questions. And again, the fact that Yudhishthira is supposed to be Yamaraj, the one who controls, who has, controls the principles of religion, the codes of religion. And here it was him that was also given reason why he could not control himself to do what he knew was not, authorized. So it's very, I mean, we can accept the story that it's lila, but when you analyze it, it begs a lot of questions as to at what point is one really guilty of a sin if duty can impel one or compel one to do otherwise. That is my question, Maharaj. I hope you understand.
Yeah. Thank you. The fact that he's Dharmaraj is cleansing, and also Devala Rishi. It was Devala Rishi who told him that, and he had also mentioned it to Vidura. He had also mentioned it to Dhritarashtra. That Devala Rishi has told me gambling is bad. Gambling is against dharma. And then in Mahabharata, he said that because if I'm challenged, because if the Kshatriya, so a Kshatriya has to accept the challenge. The only thing I can say here is because he's a Kshatriya and he had to accept the challenge and to go for the gambling match. And also, like we also have said, is also the Leela parts also comes into play. If there was no going to the forest, looting the match, and most probably there would not be no the Bhagavad Gita also, the fight. So the first part is definitely it is Dharmaraj, not supposed to be doing any gamble, but because he is also Kshatriya, and a Kshatriya according to code of a Kshatriya, because this dharma is not also easy, because even Bhishma said, he said it's not easy for me to understand. Like he said that because Draupadi lost the gamble match, he's become a slave. He doesn't have any right to stake me. So how can he do that? When Bhishmadev said a wife belongs to the husband, she becomes the slave, the servant of the husband. Wherever husband goes, she has to go. But at the same time, Bhishmadev said, but still, it's very difficult to understand the principle of dharma. That's what Bhishmadev said. So, like for example, when there was Krishna told Arjuna that according to Artha Shastra, killing the aggressors, 6 aggressors, there is no sin. According to Artha Shastra, killing the aggressors, there is no sin for that. 6 aggressors, one who burned the house, who gave poison, who encroached on others' land, who steal one's wife, something like that. So there is no sin. But then Arjuna is trying to defeat Krishna by Dharma Shastra. Dharma Shastra says, like Arjuna is saying, I'm supposed to be offering flowers to my elderly relative, elderly people, but he asking me to kill them. Guru and elderly people supposed to be offering them flowers, but you're asking me to kill them. So this is according to Dharma Shastra. Yes, we should respect the elderly people. We should offer them flowers. But then again, Krishna defeated Arjuna again with Bhakti Shastra, right? Sarva dharman parijaja mamekam saranam braja aham tam sarva papevi mokshai samimasaja. Right? So there is, I would say, a different aspect and the Shastra. Bhakti is ultimate, definitely. Prabhupada said Bhakti is like, if you give the example, if a warrior kill many people in battle, he get medals is glorified. But out of duty, if he kills someone outside of duty, he will be in prison. Just one person, he will be in prison. So that was the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is the highest. I hope I have answer, or
Hare Krishna. Shri Vara Prabhu, you may unmute.
Yes. Understood. Thank you very much, Mara.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I have a question from the answer you gave, and that is, as aspiring devotees, we're trying everything we can to follow the scriptures, but sometimes, based on time, place, and circumstance, following a particular instruction in the scriptures becomes a bit difficult. And that is, especially in the West, in the Western world. I mean, I don't know how somebody can even alter the phrase that a wife should be a slave to the husband. That is like, no, 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 no. And it is for a good reason, because most men are not in the first place competent to become controllers. So how then do they have slaves? So my question is, how do we in today's world treat women, knowing that the scriptures sometimes may say that a woman is the slave to the husband? But we know in our modern days, in our world, that the woman is not a slave, because we cannot treat the wife as slaves. So, of course, you are a Swami, so you don't physically have to go through this. But what advice do you give to devotees and the world in general, how married men should see their wives and treat them accordingly? Hare
Good
Krishna.
question. So, thank you. Krishna explained in Bhagavad Gita that even Sudras, old man, ladies, they all can become devotees. They all can be purified. So Bhakti gives a chance for everyone to get purified, to get elevated. Even ladies, children, Sudras, the elderly people can be liberated. And women, ladies also considered their spirit soul. They are Vaishnavis. They are this way also different way to look at them. Vaishnavis, also Matajis, mothers. So they are mothers. They are Vaishnavis. They are also soul, spirit soul. And of course, that was Karna saying that, because Karna, he was not in good term with the Pandavas, but definitely in husband and wife, I believe they are partners where they help each other to make progress in their life. In the Vedic time, there was when we say slave, the word slave in this Kali Yuga is corrupted now. It means something else, right? But the wife was serving the husband, like we have Sita Devi serving Ramchandra, Parvati serving Lord Shiva, Radharani serving Krishna, Lakshmi is massaging the feet of Vishnu. So that was the way. It was not the kind of slave that we speak of nowadays. It was just service to the husband, and that was lovingly done. That was even Sita Devi said that she just wanted to go with Ram. She doesn't want to be in the city, enjoy opulent life. She wants to go because she's a better half. She wants to share also. Your suffering is, so that's how it works. But the husband, of course, if we want chaste wife, if we want wife like Sita, then we also have to be like Rama, right? The man has to be like Ram. So, but the way that it was done is not that the slave that we think nowadays, But of course, there is a hierarchy also, because you can see, if we say equal, equal, then that the husband also should be giving birth to the child, which is not possible, right? But there is a saying, what they say? For man it is he, For woman, it is she, right? She and he. For ladies, there is a S before he, S-H-E. So what is that S means? Superior to he. Because they are giving birth, they're working very hard, they are doing the household affairs, so many things. They are cooking for everyone in the house, plus they also go to work. So in that sense, yes, equality is there, but we have to know. But nowadays, men's materialistic people are pushing for women's independence. Prabhupada said because they want to enjoy the woman. They want the woman to become independent. They want to enjoy. But spiritually speaking, they're spirit soul. They are mothers. They are Vaishnavis. They are devotees. You know, but not the slave that we think about it today. You know, just the wife is serving the husband. Whatever the husband is doing, the wife is also getting that much punya also. Is that right? This is something what came to my thought.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Thank you so much, especially trying to explain what the scriptures mean about the word slave, which is different from our understanding of it today. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, so Hare Krishna, maybe without any further questions, it's late for Maharaj. We may let Maharaj go, except someone has a question. All right. So, His Grace Srivas Vanachari, do you have something to say before Maharaj goes? You may unmute, please.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Thank you very much
Hare Krishna.
for the class. And my obeisances to all the devotees in Mayapur.
Yes, definitely.
And kindly pray for me. Pray for me on to Radha Madhava, Asta Shaki, and Dona Sringadev, and Sri Panchatattva.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. I'll do that. I'll pray for you also, for everyone. And Parikrama was wonderful. We had one group, 4,500 devotees in one group. Only one group this time. There was no camping. No camping. We just went out and come back in the afternoon. Wow. Full of excellence.
So many buses carrying devotees.
No buses. Just walk.
Oh, walk.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They told me that there was no permission to make and also different groups. That's why we have all in one. 4,500. These are registered, but maybe there were 5,000, I would say. Thank you, Srivash Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So at this point, we're going to ask all the devotees to kindly unmute, and then we chant to beg Hare Krishna to express our appreciation for Maharaj's presence here. Maharaj, before you go, we have one Mataji on this forum, Mitravinda. She is saying, thank you so much for your wonderful class, and more especially your explanation to the questions. So,
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So, Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama, Hare Hare.
And Chakal Bacterias Chak, Ripas Indivia Macha, Patitanam Pamanivia,
Vaishnavadyo Namo Namaha.
all glories to praise Sundar Chaitanya Goswami Maharaj Ki.
Jai.
Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hey, I'm good.
Sorry, Babu, you are muted.
Hare Krishna, yes. I muted myself. I was well, thank you all. And today is Friday, so it's weekend. So we pray and hope that Buddha and Krishna will be and we'll meet again on Monday.